Want to learn how to make this dramatic textured seascape? This tutorial will take you step by step through painting this piece of art, and it's totally beginner friendly. Also, it's my first YouTube tutorial, so keep watching to the end for a celebratory surprise. Hello creative people, Caroline here. I believe being creative is one of the most important things we can give to ourselves, but I know it can be overwhelming knowing where to start. We don't need many supplies to make this dramatic ocean night scene. The list is coming up if you'd like to pause the video, or you can find links in the description below. Today I'm repurposing an old A3 canvas that I've just gessoed over it. You can work to any size that you like. First thing I'm going to do is map out my composition, and for successful landscapes you usually stick to the rule of thirds, so that's either 1/3 sky and 2/3 land or sea, or the other way around. I'm going to do 1/3 sky at the top and then 2/3 of these crashing moody waves. I'm just going to very roughly map out where my waves are going to go. I think I might have a little moon up the top here. So the first thing I'm going to do is add some texture to the sky, and for this I'm using this old crumpled tissue paper that I got in a gift. Just tearing it to size and then spreading it out, but it will leave this really crumpled, beautiful texture across the sky. And I'm using PVA glue or white glue, Elmer's glue, any kind of school craft glue, just to collage this on across the top of the canvas. This is such a beautifully meditative process, and I hope you find it relaxing. I'll leave the edges until they're dry, and then I can easily tear them off. I'm going to tear the bottom here of the tissue paper off so that I can start adding the texture for the sea. For the texture, I'm using Pebio's modelling paste, which is kind of like a heavy body acrylic. It's not an expensive texture paste and it just flows really nicely. I'm going to pour the modelling paste straight onto the canvas and use a palette knife to spread it around. I'm using my pencil markings to guide me where I want the waves to go and which direction they will flow in. Using the tip of the palette knife, I'm going to add ripples to the water. want a big dramatic wave closest to the viewer, so I'm going to add big gestural marks into the texture paste here. I want to add sea spray and foam to break up the line between the ocean and the sky, and for that I'm going to be using this grit paste. It's a sand texture, also by PBO. You can make your own by adding sand to the same modelling paste that I used before. It just adds this really kind of gritty texture. I can't get any more out of this tube, so I'm just going to cut the top off and spoon it on with my palette knife. So that's it for the texture layer. I think I'm happy with this. I would fiddle with it for the rest of the afternoon, but I'm going to walk away at this point and let it dry overnight. I'll come back tomorrow to add some colour to it. So this is all dried really nicely and I'm ready to add some paint. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove the excess tissue paper from around the canvas, and to make that easier I'm just spraying it with a little bit of water to make it really easy to tear. You don't need to tear it directly right neatly to the edge of the canvas, because when you paint the sides it'll stick and then blend into the side of the canvas. We're ready for the exciting part now, and that's adding colour to this beautiful texture. Today I am using some Payne's Grey, some titanium white, and then this beautiful Prussian Phthalo blue by Amsterdam Acrylic. I really like Amsterdam Acrylics. They are like fairly affordable and really highly pigmented, and just really good value for artists. I've just filled an old kitchen cleaner bottle with plain water here, and I like to spray the canvas with water to start with, just to help the paint really flow. I'm starting with plain Payne's Grey for the night sky. Don't worry about covering up all the seafoam and sea spray texture at this point, that will be added back in later. Just get a really good even coat of the dark colour. Just take your time just to really work the paint into the texture. I'm personally not a fan of spending loads on expensive paint brushes. I just like to get these really cheap kind of school synthetic brushes. You really don't need to spend loads on expensive ones. If they spread the paint, they do the trick. So for the ocean, I'm going to start with the Prussian Phthalo blue, just on its own. It's such a beautiful, rich colour. Oh, I love it so much. I haven't even cleaned my brush actually, so there is some Payne's Grey still on there, but that's fine. It's all about just blending it in. As the light from the moon will be hitting the ocean and lighting up in various places, it'll have some dark shadows. So yeah, some bits will be the plain Prussian Phthalo blue, some will have a bit of Payne's Grey in it, and then I'm going to add some white in as well, just to add some tints and highlights, and blending it all together just to make this really beautiful gradient. I'm going to paint the edges as well while I've got my paint out, and I'm just continuing the colour over the edges, blending it in with what's on the front of the canvas. It just creates this seamless image. So that's this layer complete, and I'm going to leave it for about half an hour or so to dry, and then I'll come back in to do my highlights. That's all dried, and I've decided I'm actually going to put the moon on the left hand side where there's slightly less texture. I'm drawing a circle out with my pencil, and I'm using titanium white to add colour. I'm deliberately not making it too opaque. I'm letting the colours underneath show through a little bit so that you can sort of have a sense of the shadows of the moon. I love this part. This is really fun. I'm gonna add the sea spray to the painting by just spraying a little bit of water into the titanium white to make it a little bit more liquidy, and then using my brush just to flick it onto the painting. This is a really good technique for adding stars as well. To highlight the texture, I'm using the wrong end of the paintbrush, dipped in the paint, and just rubbing it over the texture just to highlight the sandy, gritty part and the very ridges of the texture paste. I'm going to use this in combination with a sponge to really build up that kind of mottled effect. This is just a basic kitchen sponge, just a few pence from the supermarket. I'm finding the square edges are actually making quite a harsh mark, so I'm using my scissors to round it off a little bit, and then that will soften that edge. So here you can really experiment with how best you like to highlight your texture. Sometimes I use a palette knife and just scrape it onto the top. Sometimes I use a sponge like this, or as I said before, the end of the paintbrush. You could use your fingers. Just try experimenting and see what effects you like. It's really starting to look like a dramatic stormy night at sea now. Keep going until you're happy with the result. You can keep adding more, and the beauty of acrylics is as soon as they're dry you can layer them as well, so if you find you've done a bit too much you could go back in and cover it up with paint spray and start again. It really is a very low pressure way to paint, and that's why I love doing these kind of projects with beginners. I just really hope you enjoy the process of experimenting and spreading the texture paste, spreading the paint. Just not worrying, just enjoying your time and breathing deeply and relaxing with it. The last thing I want to do is add some dimension to the sky, so I'm watering down my white acrylic paint a little bit again, and dabbing on some white around the moon to create some clouds. Going to use my sponge just to blend it into the sky. It makes this beautiful kind of soft effect as if the moonlight is hitting the clouds. So that's it for this project. I'm really pleased with how the textures worked out here. It draws your eye into this really dramatic, sort of moody night ocean scene, and I love the way the light hits the clouds in the sky, and I'm really pleased with this, and I hope you're pleased with your project too. I hope this video has been helpful and you have loads of fun creating your own piece of art. To celebrate finally making my first YouTube video, I'm giving away this piece of art to one lucky winner who comments below why you'd like it to be yours. I'll pick a winner and send it to you wherever you are in the world. Good luck.